Hello, hello, hello. Here's Maxwell Starr with yet another Moosehead brew. This one is Moosehead Premium Dry 5.5. Um, it's been around for a while. My earliest recollection, I think, is this beer came out sometime around the early 90s. At least that's the time frame when I remember them pushing this whole premium dry ice stuff on TV. And that was well before I was drinking age, so it's just a guess. Anyway, I've often seen this beer sitting over at my uncle and cousin's house because it's their favorite beer. I've always seen this as a kid. I've had it before, of course, but yeah. What can I say other than it's a 5.5% lager? It's their premium beer, which, let's see if there's a spiel on the side of it. It's a little damp because of condensation, but it says, "Our independence is our greatest strength, allowing us to brew quality beer without compromise, the way our family always has since 1867. We take our time brewing Moosehead Premium Dry, using only the finest ingredients and a strong measure of maritime pride." That's the same kind of BS that's on the side of every single can of Alpine Light, Alpine, Moosehead Light. You just change the name with the appropriate beer. But Moosehead's been a pretty decent brand in general. Their Alpine has got one of the highest ratings for a lager on my channel, probably the highest rating so far. I haven't really reviewed many craft brews, so let's give this one a try and see if it's as dry as they say it is. Looks pretty damp to me. Put it in my vintage Moosehead mug here, my glass. It says, "Together for 50 years, 1928 to 1978, Moosehead Breweries Limited." 1928 was the year they bought the James Ready Brewing Company on the west side of St. John, New Brunswick, when they expanded into their modern location. Before that, they were on Union Street. Before that, they were in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And in 1978, they celebrated their 50th. And in 2003, they celebrated their 75th, etc., etc. Yeah, so yeah, that's a pretty old glass. Yeah, it's got a nice head, but it's dying off pretty quickly. Looks like it's got some decent carbonation. Color-wise, that's looking more of a golden color than a straw color. That it looks definitely more appealing. Let's give it a sniff. I can sniff it without getting it up my nose again. Smells are faint, but you get a smell of kind of like caramel and like an English toffee, like a hop kind of smell to it. Smell-wise, the smell is actually kind of similar to the Moosehead Pale Ale. Maybe very similar to, if a touch stronger than their standard lager. As you can see, though, that the head's almost completely died off. But as for scent, that's not a bad smell. I actually kind of like that. Let's give it a taste. Actually comes with a nice copper coin in the mouth kind of bitterness to it. That fades away quickly into like a bready kind of toffee taste. The bread really comes out in the aftertaste. The taste is there very briefly on the front of the tongue and then disappears. This beer is so dry that it actually seems to evaporate in your mouth. Carbonation wise, it's very carbonated. It's almost to the point where it's got a little too much carbonation. However, I'm very appreciative of how dry this is. After you finish this one, you'll want another one just because your mouth is so dry. And while it's not a very light beer, it's at least not a very heavy beer. It's kind of like a medium light body to it, as your standard lager would have. I'm going right through this one. Man, wow. I'm going to say that's my favorite of the Moosehead lagers. I like that better than Alpine. I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5 just because I like it. And it's a decent quality beer. If I were handed a can of this beer, I would not object. I mean, obviously there's probably the better lagers out there, but you cannot go wrong with Moosehead Premium Dry. That's pretty good. I like it, 3.5 out of 5.